Hey, it's Whitney, and welcome back to another episode of Web3 with Whitney. This is day 24. It has not been a consecutive daily show for me recently because I've been taking some time off to recharge, to focus on some other things, and I've been really glad that I've done that. But I'm thinking about this show all of the time. Speaking of the show, I'm going to go live on TikTok behind the scenes. Um, so well, first of all, welcome. If this happens to be the very first show that you watch, thanks for being here. I've done 24 episodes, or I guess this is the 24th. So now it's 24 episodes. And I've been doing it almost every single day, but giving myself some time to just take days off as needed. Sometimes I have a lot on my plate and it just feels like a lot to pack in. And I don't want this show to ever feel like I'm doing it just to do it. I really want it to lead with my heart in this show because I feel like I'm not usually a fan of hustling just for hustle's sake. I think it's important to do things with a lot of intention, and I feel like this project means a lot to me. It means more to me every time I do it. And that really ties into today's topic about learning. But just in case you're brand new, just want to make sure that you know that you can go find all of the previous episodes plus the audio only version of this if you're not currently listening already at whitneylauritsen.com/web3. It has everything that you could want to find in one place, the links to all the platforms I go live on. I haven't stuck to a consistent live schedule just because I found it's been hard for me to do that. Maybe eventually, if I keep going with this show, I will get on a live schedule. There's also a section where you can submit topics and questions if you have already. Thank you so much for doing so. And I have a few to get to very soon, and I'll be sending out the Well coin to anyone who submits topics or questions or participates in lives with intention. You can just come drop your email address in here, and I'll send you some of my Rally coin, which is a social token that I have that's all based in wellness and well-being and mindfulness, mental health. It is currently 13 cents, at least last time I refreshed the screen. And what's cool about Rally is that if you hold on to it, you actually earn rewards over time. I do have to manually send it to you. So if you do want some of the Well coin, just be patient. I'm probably going to be sending it out once a week to anyone who asks questions. And if you haven't received yours yet, stay tuned and check your inbox. I also have the full playlist of past videos on here, as well as the audio recordings. I've mentioned that it is on Spotify, but I have not yet to make it super easy to get into the Spotify listenership yet. So stay tuned if you're waiting for that. You know, I can always use a little push. So if you ever want something from me, message me. You could do that actually here. And as a thank you for pushing me towards getting some of this stuff done, I'll send you some Well coin. Same thing goes with the Discord. I've mentioned that I've been kind of working on that behind the scenes. I just have a lot more research I want to do on Discord. If you're really eager for me to launch a Discord, send me a message in this little section. Doesn't even have to be a question or a topic request. Just send me a message and I will send you some Well. So that's the quick overview of what's going on over with this show. And thank you so much for being part of it. Today, I am mostly going to talk about my reflections on my own process with Web3. And I was thinking about this a lot in terms of the context of this rush mentality. I've mentioned this a few times on the show because I feel like there's a lot of like not FOMO, but there's a lot of people. I have a hair flying around my face that I can't, hold on, gotta get it off. Okay, I think I got it. There's in Web3, it feels like there's a lot of this intense energy, a lot of scrambling, like I gotta be first, a lot of like kind of cash grabbing, as you might refer to it as. And that energy does not work well for me. That gives me a lot of anxiety. And I've also noticed that the majority of people in my life have no idea what Web3 is. And I've been reflecting on what I want this series to be now that I've gained some momentum with it. Like, how can I be most supportive? And I think that I would just want to keep it really basic, but also keep you in the loop. And then when I think about it in that context, I start to feel a lot of pressure of doing this show the right way. How do I do a live stream right? How do I construct a podcast? How do I make it valuable to people? And I put a lot of internal pressure on myself. But when I step back and reflect on it, I realize that I certainly could sit down and really structure this out and make it like a course. But that's not the aim of this show. This aim is to check in with you daily or almost every single day, depending on when I show up. Just check in with you organically like I would a friend. And that's why the participation in terms of asking questions and talking about it, making this feel more like a conversation. I am going to share some resources today for places that you can learn from. There's phenomenal educational platforms out there. I try to mention them and sprinkle them in. I've got a few people that I'm going to mention today to give you some other resources outside of me. But my aim is not to make this show like a step 1, step 2, etc. It's really just to check in and let you know that I'm here along the journey with you. Because a lot of times when I'm observing Web3, I find like it feels complete chaos. Like it's just a bunch of people shouting at the same time, a bunch of people running. You know what it reminds me of? It's like if you've ever been to well, for something that comes to mind is like Disney, like Disneyland or Disney World. A lot of people will line up at the gates before it opens, sometimes like hours before Disney opens, because they want to be the first in there. And as soon as the gates open, they're rushing through. And a lot of things are like this, right? It could be like Black Friday sales in the past when like Black Friday the stores would open on Black Friday and people would run through trying to get the best deals. Like that's kind of the chaotic energy that I sense in Web3. And I don't like that. I don't need to be first. I don't need to be the only one. I don't need to be, I don't really need anything. I guess there's kind of this bigger metaphor for life. And the rushing actually gets in my way of achieving my goals. And this has been an ongoing theme recently. I had a whole episode about helping you figure out your goals in terms of Web3 and your own pace. And I really encourage you to go listen to that episode. I think it was 2 episodes ago, just to really step back and reflect on this more and realize that you don't have to rush if you don't want to. Now, if you do want to rush, if it feels good, genuinely feels good for you to rush and be in that chaotic energy, more power to you. Another great example of reflecting on this was last night. Gary Vaynerchuk, who, if you're not familiar with him, is a big name in the social media world and now a really big name in Web3. And people look to him for support in this whole realm. And he announced on Twitter that he was going to do a secret wine party. If you look up hashtag secret wine party, you'll find out some information about this. And he posted that he was going to start this, quote, secret party that anybody in Los Angeles could go to. And I saw that and thought, whoa, that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll go to it. And he said he was going to host it in downtown LA. And that's like 45 minutes away from where I am. And I thought, downtown LA, for anyone who hasn't been there, just think of any city you've been to or any chaotic area where it's hard to find parking and there's traffic. That's what that part of downtown LA is typically like. So unless you are near a subway or, within a walking distance, it's a big commitment to go to that part of town. So I immediately was on the fence, but I felt all this FOMO because I thought, whoa, that'd be so cool to go to a party that Gary Vee is hosting and like to meet other people. And I started to see people I knew on Twitter posting that they were going to go, that they were going to, be at this party. And I thought, oh my gosh, not only could I possibly be there with Gary Vee, but other people in the Web3 space, this could be awesome. But then I found myself feeling like it wasn't the right choice. And as strong as that FOMO was for me, I also realized that that wasn't in alignment with what I really wanted, what was best for me. I was actually really tired at that time of day. I've been struggling a lot with my energy recently, despite all my best efforts. And I don't really need to meet Gary Vee. And it would be really cool to meet other people, but it wasn't what was key to me. So I decided not to go. And I looked at a bunch of the tweets and there are people live streaming. Like, again, if you look up hashtag secret wine party, I'm almost positive. If you just go to Gary Vee's account on Twitter, you'll find it and look up that hashtag. People are posting pictures and videos and it seemed really cool. He had like the event catered and he had, I think, free wine and just a ton of people hanging out. But was it in my best interest at that time? No. If it had been convenient to me, I probably would have gone. But it was also super crowded, and that chaotic energy that I mentioned actually drains me so much that I'm not able to focus on what's important for me. And that's something that I'm really trying to keep in mind with this series, with any of my work in Web3. And then today I was chatting with a friend of mine who I didn't know was in Web3. And she was sharing with me some of the things that she's doing. And I felt this like another level of FOMO or another element of that comparison trap of, oh my gosh, look at all the things that she's doing. I should be doing those things too. And then I step back and ask, like, why haven't I done those things yet? And part of it is maybe I don't understand it and I'm not comfortable doing something as in depth like that before I understand it. I want to learn first. I want to take my time. I want to do something when it feels right. I don't have to do it at somebody else's pace. And I also recognize that a lot of people are getting into Web3 with different resources. So that is generally financial resources. If you see someone who is buying really expensive NFTs or maybe they're spending a lot of money in crypto, it's important to recognize that everybody's at a different place financially, right? So we can't compare their success to us or their place to ours if we're not in that same financial situation or comfort zone. Maybe you have the same amount of money, but you're just not comfortable buying or spending your money in the way somebody else is. And just because they are doesn't mean it's a good fit for you. This may seem kind of obvious, but I feel like if you get caught up in the chaotic energy of what's evolving with Web3 right now, it's really easy to lose sight of that and to start feeling like you're missing out or you're doing things wrong or you're going too slow. And I just don't believe that that's going to be the case. I think we have plenty of time. I don't think that there's ever a true missing out. I think we're still in the beginning of it. We've got a long way to go. And I just want to pause for a second to acknowledge my foo-foo friends who said, hi, I'm new to Web3. Why are you interested or using it? Awesome question. I'm interested in things that are new. I like developing technology. I like to see momentum happening and I just think the novelty of it is very appealing to me, but the utility of Web3 in a lot of ways is cool, especially because from my perspective, Web3 is really rooted in community and Web3 is more rooted in equality in some ways. I see those those elements of Web3 and I feel very drawn to it. And I also think learning something new is great for us, right? So getting involved with something and understanding it to determine if it's a good fit for us is really important. And I also don't think that we have a choice, to be honest. I think Web3 is just the next stage that we're going into as a society. So it's important to embrace it and understand it to the best of our abilities, but also find our own place in it so we can help shape what it becomes. Because right now, Web3 feels pretty malleable and influenced by the collective. So the more involved we get, the more that we can play a role in making it be what we would like it to be. And hey, hot sauce Jesus, this is the trouble with live streams, especially on TikTok, is you join in and you have zero context. So I'm just going to keep chatting away, but this is recorded and part of a whole series. So if you ever want to go back to the beginning, you can go to my website, which is linked in my TikTok bio there for more context on all of this. The other thing I was going to mention is it's not only important to keep in mind that people are different financial comfort levels and access points when it comes to spending their money in Web3, but also resource-wise. That could be access to information. Everybody's learning at a different pace and they have a different learning style. They maybe have access to different types of information and people that give them different types of information. So if you feel like you're behind or someone seems so far ahead, remember that we're not all equal in the where our starting lines, right? So somebody might be starting at a completely different place than you are, and that's okay. Same thing goes with resources in terms of people have connections. I was thinking today how like celebrities, a lot of them are being gifted things like NFTs just because they're influential, and the NFT creator might want to get more hype around their NFT. So the celebrities might not even have to spend money. But of course, a lot of celebrities have a ton of resources and money, so that gives them the ability to get some of these hyped up NFT projects that might feel less accessible to you, and that's okay. That's just the way the world works right now, is that we're all at different places, and I just want to encourage you not to get caught up in any of that chaos if it doesn't serve you. So I want to dive into some resources today, starting with, and these are all linked in the description of this video. If you're watching on TikTok, go over to my website to find the recording of this, and you can find all the resources if you want to check them out too. Or you can always message me. I'm happy to send you over to them. I want to make it easy for you along the way. So number one, I'm in this program right now called Kernel, and Kernel with a K, Kernel, is a open peer-to-peer lifelong network of awesome human beings. This is their description. And they do these blocks of about 250 to 400 individuals for 8 weeks. And we're all kind of working together to better understand and influence Web3. Hey, Stace, thanks for being here today. And Hot Sauce also asked, do I believe that AI will develop emotions? That's a really cool question. I don't have enough knowledge to be able to really give a good perspective on that. I don't know. I love watching sci-fi movies, so I'm really fascinated by like how AI is represented in sci-fi, but in terms of actual real life knowledge on AI, I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. But I'll look into that. I will try to do some research and see what I can learn about that. So I wanted to bring up Kernel, and if you're watching on TikTok or listening to the audio, you can go to kernel.community, and it's this fantastic program that helps people learn about all different elements of blockchain, decentralized things, coming together as a community to work on projects together. And I don't know when they're doing their next a group of it, but you can go onto their website. Let's see if they have, I don't know if they have like an application, but I just went on here probably about a month ago, applied for it, got accepted, and now I'm in the program about 1 week in, and I'm learning a lot. I plan to actually do a video summary of the things that I'm learning in Kernel at some point, and that'll be sprinkled throughout. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is this article I saw on the information.com, which is one of my favorite resources. And this one has a really clickbaity title. Maybe it's not clickbait, but it definitely caught my attention. So the title is Crypto's Town Square has become a quote scammer's paradise. Why isn't Discord doing more to clean it up? And it's a story about how the crypto industry is losing a lot of money to scams that are happening mainly on Discord. It seems like I haven't finished reading the whole article, but I started going through it. It's actually behind a paywall, so you have to join the information in order to read it. I think this is probably why I stopped. But I just thought it was really interesting because it was talking about, in the beginning of the article, this woman who lost her Bored Ape NFTs, which I brought up in one of my last episodes, and how I think, let's see. Oh yeah, someone direct messaged her on Discord. She clicked on the URL and she made this big mistake of entering her seed phrase. And I talked a little bit about this before, but I thought this was a good opportunity to remind you to never give away your seed phrase and take really good care of it, because if you give it away, people have access to your crypto or to your NFTs, and so you can lose a lot. But she was doing it kind of innocently. And this actually ties back into my other point. As you're learning Web3, it's actually a good thing to learn at a slow pace. If you rush through it, you can find yourself making some mistakes that cost you a ton of money, or, are scamming you, causing issues with your security, your privacy. Like, a lot of issues could happen when you're moving too fast. So it's okay to slow down. That chaotic energy may not serve you in the way that some of us think when it comes to a new project that feels really hyped up. And I think that's one of the drawbacks of hype, is that it can get in the way of us really stepping back and thinking and doing things in our best interest. My foo-foo friends on TikTok also said, my friend wants to give me an NFT. I don't understand what that would mean. Would it have monetary value? Great question. Yeah, some of the NFTs do. And that's the hope with all NFTs, is that they'll have monetary value. So if this is someone that you trust, they should be able to transfer it to you using your wallet. So I actually just listened to a great episode that shares the basics of setting up your wallet and connecting it to a platform like OpenSea, which I talked about a few episodes back. My favorite NFT podcast, or resource in general, is called NFT 365. It's my friend Brian Fanzo. And if you go and listen to his episodes in order from when he started his show, there's just so much to learn. And I can't easily get to the episode that I listened to today, but it was actually around Thanksgiving he released it. So end of November, if you go back, you'll find this great episode that talks about how to set up your wallet, how to connect it to OpenSea, so how people can transfer you NFTs and all of that. I mean, if someone's offering you an NFT with no strings attached and you trust that person, I can't see any problem with accepting it. That sounds awesome. However, I have heard of scams happening where people will send you NFTs without your permission. And if that's coming from a stranger, there's probably a scam attached. So really take the time to learn. I'm not an expert in this yet, so even take my advice with a grain of salt, and do your best to figure this all out. Same person asked, do I put money into Web3? I have, yeah. Absolutely. I bought crypto back in May 2021, and that's what really got me into this world. Then I launched my social token on Rally, and just became really passionate about it. So yeah, I would just do your research. And that's actually a phrase that a lot of people say in this space. It's like, do your own research. And I cannot recommend that enough. Take your time. It's okay if it's slow. I remember when I first got into this space, like I said, back in May 2021, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just kind of fumbling through all of it. And thank goodness I never got scammed. And then when I got into the Rally platform, I felt really overwhelmed and in over my head. But the reason I started this series that I'm doing right now is to learn alongside you, answer questions, figure out what I don't know, learn every single day, and talk about it. So I encourage you to do the same thing. And if you want to follow along my journey and you're just joining in my show for the very first time, go to my profile on TikTok and click on the link, and that has all the ways that you can contact me and watch previous episodes and find out when the next one is. Okay, I got to turn on my light. It is getting dark. The other resource that I came across recently that I thought was really cool is called Name Tag. And I found this actually in that article from The Insider. And name tag is the username of the future, according to them, a universal username that's secure on the blockchain. And this seems really cool. The goal is to build a standard naming service of the internet, allowing you to connect your name tag to every major Web 2 and Web 3 service. But right now, they have a wait list. So you can go on here and once you type in the name tag that you want, it'll tell you if it's available or not. But last I checked, you had to go into their Discord or their Twitter and find out when they were releasing the next batch. So I did this, or tried to do this. It was either yesterday or the day before. And it was absolutely nuts in an actual positive way. I kind of enjoyed the process. So what they did is they announced on their Twitter, the nametag.org's Twitter, that they were going to open up 50 name tags, and it would be free. So the first 50 people to claim them would be able to create their own name tag. And you had to go onto their Discord to claim it. So you had to go at a specific time. I got there on time, and you could see them. It's kind of like an iMessage or some of the other chat platforms where you see the ... someone's typing. you could see on their Discord that the account was about to release it. And unbeknownst to me, there are all these people waiting to jump on it. So I'm just sitting there like, okay, cool. And like they share a link, and it was a Google form. And in the Google form, it says, enter your Twitter name, your Discord name, and your Ethereum wallet. And I hesitated there. I was like, wait a second. Is it okay for me to give out my Ethereum wallet? I think it is. But because I'm trying to be careful, I just wasn't sure. So I hesitated. And I thought, you know what? This feels really trustworthy. I'm going to take the risk. And I pressed enter to submit my information. And I got this screen that popped up. Sorry, we're no longer taking, what's the term? Like responses. And then I went back over to Discord, and name tags, like, they're all claimed. And it turned out their 50 free name tags that they sent out went in a matter of seconds. And the fact that I hesitated cost me the ability to get one. But then I read like a bunch of people were trying to get it all at once. So who knows? I might not have even gotten it if I hadn't hesitated. But it was an interesting process. I've read a lot about name tag. It seems really cool and legit. I would definitely look into it for yourself. Again, that's at nametag.org. And keep me posted if you score one. I'll let you know when I do, or if I do. Fingers crossed. Also along the way, I came across something called SafePal. And if you've been listening to the show for a little bit, and you've heard me talk about some of the security measures and how I've been looking into getting a cold wallet, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, because I didn't even really know what that terminology meant. I've been looking at getting a ledger or a tracer, but I didn't know about this brand called SafePal. And SafePal looks pretty cool. I still think I'm going to buy the ledger. And by the way, something I learned is that it's actually safer to buy directly from these brands on their websites as opposed to buying through a third party like Amazon. So even though I feel like Amazon ethically have some mixed feelings about them, but I trust them as a marketplace, but there could be security breaches if you buy from there, because I guess somebody could take the wallet that you're buying and install software in it that can hack it. So that means once you connect it to your own wallet, they could hack into it at a later time, apparently. So buy direct from whatever brand you choose to. And you can add SafePal to your list of companies to research, and let me know if you already own one, if you like it, which one you have. I would love to hear about that, because I'm still trying to take my time and do my research. But I don't want to take too much time because of something I'm going to share with you in a minute. The other reason that I bring up SafePal is they have another really cool product that I had not heard of before, so something else to research. And it is a way for you to store your seed phrase. So it's called the SafePal Cipher Seed Board. And it's like this metal device where you can enter in your seed phrase for your wallet as a secure way to keep it. I guess like you could keep it in your wallet or put it in a safe, and it's fireproof. I think it said it's made of metal. So it looks really strong. I need to read more about it. Oh yeah, fully resistant to water, salt, and acid, and fireproof. So, I mean, I think this thing is really neat. I don't know anyone who has one, at least that I've heard of yet, but I don't know. I feel a little skeptical. I feel skeptical about this, but it also looks really cool. I'm very intrigued. And there's some reviews on here that I've not gone through. So that's safepal.io. All right, so speaking of security and hard and cold wallets, I saw this term mentioned by my friend Laura, who I did not know was in the Web3 space. Her account on Twitter is Laptop Laura. She's amazing. She said she's a nerd for books, copywriting, psychology, and comedy, die-hard movies, world travel, and oat milk lattes. She's an amazing person I know in real life, and we have a bunch of mutual friends. She's just great podcasting, entrepreneurship, and now Web3. And she's also part of VFriends, which is Gary Vaynerchuk's NFT projects. And at the very top of her Twitter account, she says, "Get a cold wallet. Get it yesterday. It costs gas to move things over, but it's far safer." So first of all, I didn't even know that there were gas fees involved with moving your crypto over to a cold wallet. So I still have a lot to learn because I have not done this yet. So first of all, I was like, wait, what's a cold wallet versus hot wallet? So I found a website, coinmarketcap.com, and it had a really simple definition. So a hot wallet is either a desktop wallet, a mobile wallet, or a hybrid wallet. No, I don't even know what those terms mean, to be honest. So maybe there's more info down here. And a cold wallet is a hardware wallet like Trezor and SafePal, or a paper wallet. Hardware wallets and paper wallets are both cold wallets, while desktop, mobile, and hybrid wallets are hot wallets. Okay, have I lost you yet? So a hot wallet is the most common type of crypto wallets because they're simple to set up and easy to use. When you create an account on an exchange, download a mobile wallet or a desktop wallet on your laptop, you are creating a hot wallet. They are meant for everyday cryptocurrency users, according to this. Now, a cold wallet is considered the more secure cryptocurrency storage solution as they are not connected to the internet. You only connect your cold wallet to the internet when you want to make a transaction. So this article, it ends right there. So it says choosing a crypto wallet is entirely up to you and your needs as a user. If you plan to buy and hold cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, you're better off putting your digital currency into cold storage. However, if you are a regular crypto spender, you're probably better off holding some of your crypto on a mobile wallet. Whatever you choose, make sure it's a non-custodial wallet. I don't even know what that term means, where you only hold the wallet's private keys. And I think that's like the seed phrase. So I have more to learn around all of this, but it's definitely inspiring me. I had mentioned several episodes ago when I was talking about seed phrases, how people get like safes to store their seed phrases, and you could probably store your cold wallet in there too. There are some really sad stories about people losing their cold wallet. So just make sure it's in a safe, reliable, secure place where you can easily retrieve it and not lose it. And I will keep you posted as I learn more about this. And actually, Laura's tweet came from another tweet that she referenced from Remixer FI, who was telling the story about how they lost their Ethereum and NFTs. And it's a really sad story. And I think in this Twitter thread, which you can read from Laura's tweet there, that they kept all of their crypto and NFTs on a hot wallet and left their computer overnight with MetaMask signed in. And while they're not 100% sure how it was compromised, they do believe that they ran a malware that was able to access their MetaMask. I didn't even know that was possible. So this is another great example of why it's so important to take your time learning, because what if you put all this money, or you were gifted things, like however you acquire your crypto, your NFTs, and you feel like your life has kind of been made or changed by this, and then it's all gone. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. That's awful. So please do some research and make it secure. Okay, a couple other things I want to get to before I wrap up today. Speaking of learning, I found this Twitter thread from a woman named Misha, whose account is Mishada Vinci. And the Twitter thread says, Web3 and NFT Twitter can be confusing. Let's change that. Here are 40 terms that will make you smarter starting today. And Misha lists out a bunch of different terms. I encourage you to go over to the Twitter. Examples are GM, which stands for good morning, GN, which stands for good night, friend, IRL, GMI, NGMI, WAGMI, and SER. That's one actually I haven't heard from. That's for sir, a polite way of disagreeing with someone. Okay, cool. So this is what I mean. There's all this terminology. Then her whole thread breaks down other pieces of terminology. So if you want to learn more, there's so many resources for learning the lingo in this space, but I just found this one really digestible. And if you're on Twitter and you want to retweet it, this is a good tweetable. And look at, if you're watching on my screen, there's just so much. And you could go through something like this and feel overwhelmed. And for that, I would not blame you. But she does uh, link to a article also on coinmarketcap.com, which was what I was using to better understand hot and cold wallets. There's an in-depth glossary of crypto and Web3 terms. So if you would prefer to read it all in one place and not on a Twitter thread, you can find that at the coinmarketcap.com glossary. Another resource is from a tweet from Betty_NFT. And actually, this was more of a statement that I thought was worth addressing in relation to gas wars. So gas is basically the transaction fee that you pay when you're doing certain types of transactions. I think it's mostly when you're buying on some of the cryptocurrencies, or when you're buying an NFT, you have to pay a gas fee. And I actually haven't paid that close attention to it yet. I haven't made any major purchases with major gas fees involved. One thing I like about Rally as a platform, and that's again where I have my social token, Rally.io, they don't have a lot of fees. In fact, I'm not even sure that they have fees, I think, within their network, just to make sure that you're not like people aren't taking advantage of the system too much. But I don't think that they have any gas fees for buying NFTs, for example, which is really cool. So because I've mostly done a lot of my recent crypto stuff within the Rally ecosystem, I haven't had to deal with gas fees. But Betty NFT is talking about gas wars, where wealthy people mint and people with less Ethereum lose out. Either on the reserved mint system, wealthy people can buy on secondary. People with less Ethereum are forced into an unhealthy and degrading grind to maybe get a spot. We need to come together and figure something out. And one of the ways that we could work through this, a potential solution, is on-chain raffle systems. And that's something that I guess Betty NFT is working on. But this thread is really cool. I linked to it in the description for the video. Because you can see all these other people weighing in and talking about gas wars. Another account, Noodles, which is at Bar Noodle, said, our plan is to grow slow because organic growth keeps our following manageable and genuine. Whitelist without the grind. So if you haven't gotten in or seen or witnessed the NFT whitelist listing stuff, I find that incredibly chaotic. And basically a lot of NFTs, people who are launching NFTs will make you like retweet and follow things and comment and share and do all this work, this grinding to get on the whitelist so that you could be one of the first people to get the NFT. And I guess the reason being that if you weren't on the whitelist, you might miss out and not even be able to get the NFT. So a lot of people have this FOMO and get into doing whatever they can to make sure that they're on this VIP whitelist. And I can understand that mentality or reasoning, but it does create this chaos that this thread is talking about. Noodles also said that you could open the list early and only giving a certain part of the supply to people that are super active in a community. So a lot of people are trying to figure out, how do we get away from these, quote, gas wars, where it feels like it's very exclusive and not accessible. And that's something I'm obviously, as I said before, very passionate about. I want to see Web3 feel more accessible and not like a big competition. I don't want people feeling like they're missing out, that they are comparing themselves to one another. I truly want my experience of Web3 to be rooted in community. And if you feel the same way, I'm glad you're here, because we're in this together. And then lastly, I think I'm going to end here, because one topic I want to get into soon is something called the Proof of Attendance Protocol. I think it's the acronym is pronounced POAP. I just learned about this. I didn't even know what this was at all until just a few days ago. So I'm going to save that for another episode. Stay tuned. But the last thing I'll talk about today is another Twitter thread. And this was a shout out to Crypto Altruism, who curated 15 projects that focus on greater inclusion and diversity in Web3. So you can go on here. Some of these might look familiar to you because I've mentioned them before. One is World of Women NFT, really amazing project. Another one that I recognize is Honey Badges. I'm actually keeping an eye on Honey Badges. They're minting on March 8th. And It sounds pretty awesome. I really like their artwork. I like what they stand for. They have a great account on Twitter. I encourage you to check out. And let's see, Crypto Chicks, of course, is another great account for women, but there's a ton others. One is Walking Between Worlds, who follows me. I'm not following them, so I'm going to follow them back right now. Queer Friends NFT, I'm going to look into that. Power of Women NFT. Don't think I'm familiar with them. Baddie Babes NFT. Oops, sold out. That's what they said in their title. Yes Queen Club, on a mission to bring diversity and inclusion. Women Tribes NFT. Moon Landing NFT. Ooh, this one sounds awesome. Neurodiverse art and disability in the NFT space. Love that one. I just love that description. I'm going to check them out. Crypto Beauties and Black NFT Art, which I'm also going to follow because their account looks really amazing. So this is what I love about Twitter. Now, keep in mind, as I said, Twitter can feel chaotic. Twitter can feel like a ton of people shouting at once. Twitter can feel like arguments and so much information coming to you at once. If it's not your thing, I get it. I'm here to help share what I'm seeing in there so you don't have to. But my recommendation, if you're a lot like me and you're getting overwhelmed, just go on there, maybe set a timer. Take a deep breath, turn on some meditation music, light some candles, set an environment, or only go in there when you feel like you're able to deal with it and not be consumed by any FOMO or comparison traps or not feeling good enough. Because I want to remind you, everything is going to be fine. You are enough, and you will find your way through this web space no matter where you are. And I think that's just going to be the core of the series as I continue to do it. So thank you so much for being here today. Again, I'd love to hear from you. And I missed some questions here. One last one. I don't know if my Fufu Friends is still here, who asked, are NFTs kind of comparable to stocks? Sort of, but I did an episode on that. So my Fufu Friends, thank you for asking all your questions. If you're still here, will you please connect with me? If you go to my website, whitneylauritsen.com/web3, send me a message. I would love to send you some free Wellcoin for all your amazing participation. You can also on that website find my previous episodes. I did actually a whole one about stocks versus NFTs. So that'll give you some more in-depth answers. And to everyone else, thank you for being here. I hope you ask questions. Like having someone like my Fufu Friends engaged and asking a ton of things is awesome. I'm actually going to screenshot this so that I can answer any questions that I didn't get to today. Let's see. Lots came. Oh yeah, I want to come back around to this one about, do I think AI will develop emotions? Amazing. But it's just so cool when this is the beauty of live streams. So thank you for watching live. Thank you for listening to the audio if you're there, watching the video replay. I'll be back again soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. But whenever it is, I'm looking forward to connecting with you. And I hope you reach out and ask your questions so I can send you some free Wellcoin. Bye, and good luck with your Web3 journey in between now and the next episode.